Hello, my fellow pollen-covered fan blades. I'm Mr. Church, and there has been some changes made to upper floors in Fallout 76, and now we can snap stairs to the ends of them, which you didn't used to be able to do. Before, you could only snap them to the sides of these pieces, and I'm talking about specifically these half-wood upper floors. These are the ones that have been changed. This was how you could snap them before. Now you can snap them like this as well, which comes with a lot of cool things that you can do with them, which I will show some cool things you can do because you can do this now. But first, I want to show you something that can also happen because of this change. Originally, I thought that this was a change so that you could snap them, the end of them, to these weird stairs. No, that isn't why. In fact, these are not usable. You can't snap them onto these stairs. That's fine. Who needs them? Now, one side of the long end of these things has a gap when you're rotating it. You'll notice there's a gap, and you can actually snap them with that gap there. But something that can happen when you're snapping these with the gap in them is it will lock these up. So what's going on is it thinks that these individual pieces don't have support because of the gaps that are in them. So you're able to snap them to them, but when you go to remove a piece, it checks and sees if the piece you're going to remove it from has support. So in this case, is it touching another upper floor? It doesn't see one, so then it says you can't remove it because it thinks that if you removed it, that'll leave it floating. You can rotate these 90 degrees or 360 degrees when they're locked up, but you can't move them. So to fix this issue, you just have to rotate these pieces / add more pieces so that all the pieces are touching each other, or the corners are touching each other at least, and that will let you get rid of them. Something I found that's weird is they will snap to the corner easier than they will side to side, so you can actually use that to your advantage to get them in. Just keep in mind that if you do have those gaps there, anything you add to it will get locked up until you get them to all touch. So that's how you get rid of them. Be careful in your camps though, because there are situations where rotating them is not going to help. So in this case, these ones are next to each other, so I can't rotate this one. And it's too close to the stairs to add another one touching the stairs. And neither of these can be rotated. And that's the only way they can be moved, when there is a gap in the line of support. So in a situation like this, the way that you can fix it is you have to get another support in there. Now, things do get sketchy. If you try to build up and then down to these platforms, a lot of times what happens is the support doesn't actually carry downward when you try to do that. So in this case, I tried to bring it down so that I could attach these stairs to the blob that's down there. And by doing this, once I snap this in like that, I should be able to get rid of these, right? Because they're all touching, and then they go to the stair and then they go up. No, they won't let me. So the support isn't carrying through this, and even adding one here, that was a mistake, by the way. I can't move it because of the gaps in the build. But I can rotate it and I can put another one there. Even doing that, filling that all out, did not give me support. So the support doesn't go up through that stair like you would think it would, like it should. So you have to snap down and then get a foundation. This will break everything up because you have a new source of support and everything goes back. And now these should all delete because they're all connected. So I'm going to show you some cool stuff that you can do with this new feature. So in a couple of builds in the past, I've made stairs that were off to the side, up against the wall. And this is a really cool feature, and it helps the upper floor, the hole going up to the upstairs, be a lot smaller. Now in those cases, I had to use roofs as the upper floor, because when you try to snap the normal upper floor in, it'll snap only to the direct center of these upper floors. And I'm hoping with this change, maybe they'll add in the ability to snap stairs to the sides of these and maybe to the sides of foundations as well. That would open up a lot of opportunities for what we could do. But because we can now snap to the ends of these, we can actually fill in this space with these half wood upper floors. Now, I want to add, again, this stair is not connected to a foundation technically, so this stuff is all floating. Anything you connect to it is going to get stuck together, and the way to get it off is you'll have to create a secondary support going down to a foundation to be able to get rid of it. It will snap to the end of one of these half things, and it will count as support. Which is nice. And then you just work backwards from there if you need to start over, and etc., etc. Another thing that I've done before is I've made roofs using these cool stairs. And it's it's a big hassle because you have to use catwalks to kind of get stuff into position over and over again next to each other. It's annoying. But with this new feature, we're able to actually do this a lot faster. What I did in this case is I snapped a foundation out by half of a catwalk. You could do by a full catwalk if you wanted. And then I simply am going to snap this to the end here and then snap this on either side. A lot of times it'll snap to the corner even when it won't snap to the side of it. And then once it's snapped to the corner, it will let you snap to the end of it. So in this case, it's a much faster to do this and then move that one. Remember though, if you're gonna do this, make sure that it's not on a build where there's gaps anywhere, because that one on the end here, this one will be stuck. You won't be able to move it, remember, because you need stuff to be supported to be able to move it. But in a normal situation, this is a great way to get these side by side. It is a little wonky, I'll say. But now we're going to go over using these Fort Fortress wall walks, which snap right next to each other with no issues. And I'm using the half one, which gets us back over to our base area where the building will be. And then you're going to just grab your stairs. And this is how fast this is to do. You simply just snap down the line here. Boom, boom, boom. And then you can just get rid of these wall walks because they are catwalks. They can be removed. They don't carry support through them, leaving these single stairs floating. If you want to have a actual roof, like a flat roof, underneath where these stairs are, you're going to want to put those in and then burn them and then put the roofs in because you won't be able to put them in after the stairs are there. But you can simply do this on both sides very, very quickly. The amount of time it took to get those stairs in the first time I did it using like just catwalks on the sides of like walls and stuff, it took so long, and this is almost instantaneous. And you could even make like a blueprint of the, like just the upper floors and stuff, and then throw these on and then get rid of everything. And then you have the stairs. And again, this looks like shit, but what you're not realizing maybe is that you can replace these stairs with something that'll be a bit more blocky, and it'll fill in that space nicely. Honestly, those new ladder stairs might actually look cool in this situation as well. Like they're maybe working on the rafters or something like that. But like I said before, you're going to want to put the roofs in first if you want to have like a flat roof in there to cover up that hole. Then if I switch these out to these nice wooden ramps, they'll actually be flush next to each other and it will fill in nicely. You'll have this nice wooden roof. And I think this is a really cool touch. I've seen people using this technique as well to make like kind of Nordic styles. And with this new Fort Fortress wall, it actually goes really well with the wood tones. So again, that's like super quick, super easy, and that used to be like a huge headache to do. And this makes it so much faster and easier just because we can snap just stairs to the end of those. Now you can also do some other cool stuff because of how these things can be like floating away from it. So these half upper floors, one side of them has this gap on it and the other side doesn't. See, the full wall, the full piece doesn't. But you just can like snap it so that that is off to the side of it, so there's that gap in there, and it creates the illusion of a floating platform. And there's a lot of different applications for this, if you think about it. And again, you want to be careful, because when there's that gap there, it doesn't think that there's support. So if you were to need to delete stuff, you'd have to connect them up and then get rid of them back to the main structure and start over. But when you have the ability to do this, you can do a lot of different things. You can hide support for something else floating cleverly just by having next to that item. Like you could make like a trolley or a tram pulling up to a station. You have that little gap there naturally. Stuff like that's really cool that you can do this with. Now, because of that gap on the side there, putting walls down sometimes will not work. It will not let you. So what you can do is you just rotate these by 180 degrees, and you'll be able to snap those down, because one side has the gap thing and the other side doesn't. So just rotate them and you'll be able to snap the wall to that. And because, like I said before, you can rotate these, you just can't move them when there's a gap somewhere along the line. You will be able to rotate these even though it's not technically connected up, and so it's floating and locked up technically. But yeah, as you can see, that creates a nice floating thing there. Lots of different applications for this, like I said. But those are just some new things you can do with them. I thought I would throw this together just to show you some cool stuff that you can do with this new feature, and to warn you that you can get your stuff locked up, but it's easy enough to fix it, I think. Thank you so much to my patrons and channel members for your support. I really do appreciate it. I'm just about to upload a video to there today of reacting to the new scoreboard. If you're interested in joining me in that way, the link for that is in the description. But I will see you guys in what can only be described as the next video.